The X-S10 is the latest camera body released by Fujifilm, and in my opinion, is one of the most unique releases in Fujifilm systems since the X-H1. While the individual components that make up the X-S10 aren't at all technologically groundbreaking, what is remarkable is Fujifilm's decision to take key elements from different bodies in their lineup and combine them in a way that just makes sense. In this video, I will be going over my initial thoughts about this camera after a week of use, what I love, like, and think can be improved, and whether or not this camera will be the right one for you. Like I said earlier, the X-S10 is composed of various hardware elements from different bodies in the Fuji lineup. Let's break it down. It has the deep grip with an embedded front command dial as found on the X-H1, a smaller revised version of the IBIS system and a fully articulating touchscreen LCD as found on the X-T4, and a very similar front face, pop-up flash, viewfinder, top plate dial placement and rear button placement to that of the X-T200. To top it off, it shares the same resolution in both the electronic viewfinder and rear LCD to that of the X-T30, and also shares near identical performance figures as well. Essentially, it has wonderful ergonomics, helpful video and photo stabilization, simplistic looks, and approachability in a compact package that performs above and slightly beyond its affordable price tag. The X-S10 is probably the most utilitarian camera in Fujifilm's lineup to date. While the X-S10 does not have the retro vibes you get from other XT cameras, it makes up for it in its understated, aesthetically clean, and universally familiar design. There's nothing that screams, "Look at me," and all the dials and buttons are kept to a bare minimum in locations that are easy to find and access. This all translates to a very pleasing user experience straight out of the box. Even without knowing how to operate a camera, one is still able to switch the camera on, turn the mode to auto, which has been conveniently outlined in white so you won't miss it, and begin taking photos. While in auto mode, the X-S10 will handle autofocus, which will default to single-point continuous autofocus. If you move the joystick, the focus box will turn green, and you can then proceed to move the focus point around or use the rear command dial to increase or decrease the focus box size. Note that if you increase the focus box, it will jump from single point to zone, to wide tracking, and back to single point. ISO, shutter speed, and aperture is all taken care of, and exposure metering is locked in multi. The X-S10 will try its best to provide the best settings to produce a sharp, usable image. This is an incredible feature that beginners will undoubtedly love, and personally, I find it quite liberating to just let the camera take the wheel and let me focus solely on nailing my compositions. Okay, maybe the X-S10 exposed the scene but did not preserve enough of the highlights. No worries, use the rear command dial to adjust exposure compensation. Don't want the camera to pick the film simulation for you? Easy. Turn the front command dial to cycle through the list of film simulations and pick the one best suited to you. All this can be done with just one hand, thanks to the nice ergonomic hand grip. Say you're feeling adventurous. The X-S10 makes it a very progressive affair thanks to the PSAM modes. Go beyond full auto to program auto, where the camera will still correctly expose the scene, but you get to choose the shutter speed and the camera will adjust the aperture and ISO combination for you. Shutter priority and aperture priority will enable you to take control of these respective elements and let the camera handle the rest. Then, when you feel confident enough, you can switch over to manual mode, where the X-S10 will hand all controls over to you so you can maximize your creativity. What about the dial on the left side? Well, now you have a quick and easy way to cycle between all the film simulations on the fly without having to go into the menus. Need more options for different scenarios? Maybe you take product photography by day and street photography by night. Maybe you're a classic chrome on the streets and an acros in the sheets. The X-S10 features 4 custom settings that allow you to set different shooting settings for each so you can quickly jump from one style to another. To top this all off, with the assistance of in-body stabilization up to 6 stops and an ergonomic grip, it becomes so much easier to tackle more difficult lighting conditions. The articulating screen is a very divisive point amongst the community, and personally, I don't really take sides. The clear advantages of the articulating screen is being able to flip around the screen when not in use so the LCD is not exposed all the time, getting really low to the ground when taking photos in portrait mode, and being able to take self-portraits. Now let's talk video. The X-S10 has a movie mode on the dial, but it also has a dedicated record button. This means if you want to pull off a cheeky video but don't want to exit your current photographic settings, it only takes one press of a button to instantly start recording. As soon as you're done, you can carry on taking photos. The fully articulating screen is designed to cater to those that need to see their own face when recording. I did a quick test walking around just hand-holding the X-S10. The video settings were straight out of the box, and I simply flipped the screen around, turned the camera towards me, and pressed the record button. As you can see, the IBIS does a decent job at stabilizing handheld footage, and overall, the video quality is quite good. I wouldn't rely on the built-in microphone, however. The sound was not that great. Thankfully, you can attach an external microphone easily thanks to the dedicated microphone jack, which sits conveniently on its own so the cables won't obstruct the operation and view of the LCD. Although the X-S10 can't do 4K at 60 frames per second, or do internal 10-bit, the quality of the 8-bit videos straight out of camera with any film simulation applied looks fantastic. And for any non-commercial personal work, it is more than enough. It can even record an F-log in camera and can do up to 240 frames per second in 1080p Full HD. There are not many cameras at this price point that can give you in-body stabilized footage handheld, and the closest comparison camera that Fujifilm offers might have better internal video recording, but good luck trying to record decent handheld footage without either a gimbal or a lens with OIS. The thing I found to be most intuitive about the X-S10 is how quick and snappy operation is. When it comes to real-world usage, as hard as it is to admit this, the PSAM dial combined with front and rear command dials is just faster. So it may seem like I'm singing too much praise for the X-S10, but no camera is perfect, so let's go over the things I didn't really like and what I wish Fujifilm could change or implement in their future model revisions. Keep in mind, if you are new to Fujifilm, most of these issues shouldn't be of concern for you. The biggest gripe I have with this camera is no doubt the placement of the SD card slot in the same compartment of the battery. It's so close to the hinge of the door and sits flush with the battery. Inserting or ejecting the card requires you to use your fingernail to push it down. Removal of the SD card while the battery is inside is awkward and fiddly. Now, while we're on this topic, can we make UHS 2 compatibility a standard now? Another sad point is that due to the custom dial settings C1 to C4, you do lose 3 extra slots of customizable features that exist in most other Fujifilm cameras. To be fair, these new custom settings allow you to customize a lot more than just your film simulation and IQ settings, but I can understand how that would be a negative point for those who only care about experimenting with custom Fujifilm film simulation recipes. One final wish, and this would probably be relevant for all future Fujifilm mid-range cameras. Please provide a hot shoe cover and have a screen protector film applied to the LCD screen. I don't think that's too much to ask. If I had to sum up the X-S10's capabilities in one phrase, it would be jack of all trades, master of none. It's very obvious where Fujifilm is trying to direct the X-S10's attention towards. Newcomers looking to venture beyond phone photography, amateurs looking to explore other camera systems, and enthusiasts who want something different or something to supplement their main camera, and YouTubers. The X-S10 is truly a versatile camera that can cater to everyone of any skill level. It will hold your hand when you first start out, but will slowly conform to your needs and preferences the further you progress on your photographic journey. So, if you are somebody who just wants to take good photos and videos without any of the faff, this is the X-S10.